Hi there, Pickens Wesleyan Church and friends, and welcome to What's What this week, September 20th, 2020. Now, we shared with you last week that this coming Sunday would be our Faith Promise Mission Sunday. We're really excited about having two guest speakers with us this week. Chris Wilson will be coming to share with us from the Dream Center, and Reverend Dan Irvine will be coming to share with us with World Hope International. We are also going to be taking pledges this week and commitments toward our Faith Promise pledges for the year. We did mail out letters and forms for those that we went through the list, and it looked like you hadn't been here in a while because of Corona. And we sent those to your homes, and you should have received them already. If not, you may need to check the mail on Monday. But we simply want you to fill out your Faith Promise card. And we gave you an envelope with already has a stamp on it. Just send it back to us. Don't put your name or information on it, just the amount of your pledge. And there's a tear-off piece for you to keep for your record. So we're going to trust God to help us to raise all of the funds that we need this year for our Faith Promise for missions. And hope you'll be a part of this weekend and what's happening here at the church. We do want to express our heartfelt sympathies for Julie and Phil Kellett. Many of you know they've been a part of our church for years, and they live up at Table Rock on the camp properties, and they have not been able to attend church much over the past years because of Phil's health related to his heart issues, and it's made it very difficult for them to attend hardly at all. But this week, Julie's father, Pastor Wilcox, passed away. And as many of you know, Julie, being a preacher's kid, grew up in the Wesleyan church. Her daddy was a pastor for 44 years. And after retirement, he actually attended Pickens for a while. So he has become someone that we're quite fond of at Pickens Wesleyan Church. So we are praying for Julie and Phil. Phil is still at MUSC. He's having some really difficult health issues of his own. And he just went through a surgery yesterday and is recovering from that. But the visitation is Saturday, the 19th, from 2 to 4 at the Duckett Robinson Chapel in the Clemson central area. So you want to plan to be a part of that 2 to 4. And then the funeral will be Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. again at the funeral chapel. And the burial will be at Golden Grove Wesleyan Church. Just keep Julie and Phil in your prayers, as Julie's going to be going through this on her own, and Phil will still be in the hospital. Next Saturday, on the 26th at 11 a.m., we'll be having the memorial service for Bob Pertlwitz. We shared with you last week that he passed away after his battle with cancer over the last year. And the family would like to invite you to come and attend the memorial and in support of them and as we remember Bob. And that again is next Saturday at 11 a.m. at the church. We were pretty excited this week. Our Pickens Wesleyan Church team, we had 8 folks go to Feed a Hungry Child of Pickens County. And they were able to put together about 200 bags of food for children. And those are distributed on the weekends to children to take home. There are many children in the Pickens County who do not have enough at home to eat on the weekends. And so this vital organization is really meeting a need in our community. And we're so thrilled to be able to partner with them. And that is why we've actually made them a part of our missions budget this year. And we want to get more involved with them. And our heart at Pickens View is to connect with our community and find other organizations that are meeting needs and see how we can be a part of that. So a big shout out to our team this week that went to be a part of that. Last week we did start our Sunday school class for adults. It's during the 10:30 hour. We're combining in the fellowship hall, and we want to encourage any adults that want to be a part of that. We encourage you to come to the 9:15 service and then make your way over to the fellowship hall. Or for some of you that have still not come back to church because of coronavirus, I just want to encourage you. We had a few folks come back last week who've not been back to church. And it is a wide open space over in the fellowship hall, and there's plenty of room for you to be socially distant. And we want to encourage you that if you feel comfortable, come and be a part of that. I want to congratulate Pastor Sherry Gibson. As you know, Pastor Sherry is one of our staff pastors. She came on staff this year, but she's actually been around for a while. She's been serving with us for the last 2 years. Pastor Sherry graduated from Southern Wesleyan, but as part of her ordination requirement, she is required to serve in a Wesleyan church for 2 years. So that is completed, and this coming Saturday, also on the 26th at 11 a.m., she will be ordained as a Wesleyan pastor at a live Wesleyan church as part of a district service. Now that service is open to anyone, and they are inviting you as a guest to come and celebrate with Pastor Sherry. And we encourage you to do that if you're available on Saturday. And also the following day, on the 27th, after both services, we're going to have an outdoor reception for Pastor Sherry. We're going to have refreshments outside under a tent, and we're going to encourage all of our folks to stop by and congratulate Pastor Sherry. This is a great accomplishment in her life. So this week, for Who's Who, this is the missions edition. So first of all, I want to introduce to you our missions committee. These folks are asked to serve each year, and primarily they begin by coming up with what we're looking at during this weekend, our missions conference, our missions budget. What missionaries do we support? What ministries in our community do we support? And what special projects shall we take on for the year? So your missions committee has been working hard. Some of these folks have served several years, and I want to introduce them to you. So Pastor Randy Clay serves as our chairman of the missions committee. Pastor Randy has a tremendous heart for missions. He's gone on every missions trip, I think, since I've been here at Pickens View, and he has a great heart for this ministry. We have some lay folks that help serve on this committee. Debbie Ellison serves on the missions committee. She also works with our children on Sunday mornings and on Wednesday nights. Denise Bailey, she serves as our treasurer for the church, and she also is working with children on Sunday mornings as well. She teaches Sunday school. Lyle Jacks, you'll most often see Lyle up on the platform on Sunday mornings playing the violin as part of our worship team, but she also is a huge help on Wednesday nights with our elementary ministry. And also Lyle has a tremendous heart for missions and keeps encouraging us to take great steps in the Great Commission and sponsoring our missionaries and doing ministry. Pastor Sherry is serving as our community missions coordinator. And I've specifically, when we hired her, asked her to come on board. And part of her job is specifically to help us as a congregation to engage in our community. And so this past week with Feed a Hunger Child, Pickens County, that was part of that. And also filling the trailer 2 weeks ago for Dream Center. So I thank Pastor Sherry for her assistance in that. And I serve on the missions committee as well, just as senior pastor. Global Partners is what our Wesleyan missionary organization is called. And I want to introduce to you very quickly our Wesleyan missionaries that we do support. The Paraventis are serving in the Czech Republic. We've sponsored them the last 2 years, and we're glad to be a part of that. Mary Beth Bagley, she is a missionary's kid, actually herself. And in turn, her ministry as a missionary is to serve missionary kids. She lives in Marion, Indiana, and she's also the daughter of Bob and Brenda Bagley, who we also support as missionaries. Dave and Donna Tolan are part of the Southern Wesleyan University campus. They are resident missionaries there, and even though Dave does teaching and other things on campus, primarily they are there to encourage and mobilize for missions on the campus. Although they serve the campus full-time, they are actually raising their funds just like any other missionary, so that's why we try to support them. Also, Greg and Heidi Edmonds, they serve the nation of Haiti. They actually live here in South Carolina. They're part of our very own district. But Greg works very hard with the Haitian Nationals and the churches there and volunteer ministry teams that will go to Haiti and do work. So he is back and forth to Haiti several times throughout the year. The Van Steenburgs I've met since I've come to Pickens View, And we are so pleased to be able to partner with them. Now, their first couple of years of missions work, they've moved a lot, and that's simply been because in the fields where they've served, the needs have changed, and they have been very patient and very flexible. They are currently serving full-time in Panama, and they are at home in Virginia, awaiting for COVID-19 restrictions to lift so that they can get back to Panama. They're hoping to do that very soon. Barry's hoping to go ahead in the short term, and then Mom will follow later with the two boys. Their two oldest sons right now are both at Southern Wesleyan University in our back door here, and Mom and Dad are coming up next weekend to visit the boys. And so they are actually going to stop in and worship with us next week and greet us and share with us a little bit about what's going on with them for missions. Most of us know the Stanleys. Dan and Deanna are part also of our South Carolina district, and they're very well connected with a lot of folks here at Pickens View. Glenda Hoyle attends our church, and she is Deanna's mother, but she's also grandma to Zoe, Isaac, and Gavin. So since the Stanleys have been on the field, Zoe has gotten married and moved to Charleston. This summer, Isaac became engaged. And at this point, Gavin has started online school here in South Carolina, and he's hoping, and the family is praying, that the school will allow him to continue his online studies as they get ready to go back in just a week or so. They're leaving on September 25th to go back to Haiti. Bob and Brenda Bagley served in Africa for many years, and their roles have changed. They are now the executive directors of Global Partners, and they have the responsibility of giving oversight to some of the more mature churches all around the world. And so their scope is a little bit broader now. And the Bagleys are actually a second generation missionary family. Brenda's parents, Don and Elizabeth Carnes, were the first missionaries to Liberia, and they were the first to go and start that missionary work. If you remember last year during our missions conference, one of our projects was to raise money to dig a well in Africa. And it turns out that that well was dug in Liberia, and it has been dedicated to the memory of Don and Elizabeth Carnes and for their work in Liberia. So it's great to have that connection. The Bagleys live in Seneca currently, and it's good to have them nearby. And they will be back to check in with us and visit with us and share with their ministries. An interesting fact is that when I was at Southern Wesleyan University, Bob was home, and Bob Bagley taught my missions class, so he was one of my professors. Another couple, Wendell and Yoli, are Haitians that are actually serving in Africa, and we have added them to our missions list this year as missionaries that we are sponsoring. While our team was in Haiti the last time, they got to know Wendell and his wife. And later, when we found out that they were going to be going from Haiti to Africa as missionaries, we wanted to be a part of their support. So as you know, Haiti has been in a lot of turmoil and unrest over the last year or so, and even our own missionaries have found it hard to have consistent ministry there. But that's why it's exciting that the nation of Haiti is actually sending its own missionaries out. And so they will be going to work in Africa in the French-speaking countries. So we are going to be supporting them. There are two special projects this year as part of our missions budget. The first is we're going to work on raising money again for another well. There's nothing more life-giving or helpful than being able to provide fresh water, healthy water that folks need. And so Dan had shared with the district earlier this year that actually there are several wells in Africa. They are needing it because of COVID-19. They need water and to deal with the health crisis, that for $5,000, they can rehab an old well that's not functioning any longer. It's half the cost to redo a well that's not functioning than it is to dig a brand new well. So we're going to raise $5,000 as a goal to rehab a new well, or not a new well, but an old well. And the other project is for Wendell. he is asking for a special trike, a three-wheeled vehicle that will help carry all of their Jesus film equipment from place to place when they go to do their outreach and evangelism projects. So that trike runs around $2,000, and so the missions committee felt that was a great, worthy project, and it would help to share the gospel in great ways. So those are two special projects that are a part of our missions budget this year. So it's going to be a great weekend. I need you to be praying about your commitment. And I'm not worried. I'm trusting God to help us. And I'm excited for the call that God has on our church, Pickens Wesleyan Church, as we seek to be a part of the Great Commission. As we give money to support missionaries, we are helping others to come to know Christ all around the world. We are a vital part of what's going on. But beyond that, we are also putting our feet to the ground here in Pickens, in our communities, and we're sponsoring local ministries, and we're going to go out into our community to be a part of sharing the love of Christ and the light of Christ with the world that is desperate to know him. So I encourage you, be a part of what's going on at Pickens View, and I hope that you can be a part of missions this weekend, whether you're online or you join us live in services. So just know I love our church. You are loved. Have a great week.